Good evening, welcome to the Professor Maima Show. Hope you are doing well wherever watching me from around the world. This is a comedy show for your own entertainment. Please subscribe, share, and like this video. So today I want to talk about the soccer game that is loved by millions of people around the world, in fact billions, mostly here in Africa. I want to talk about a time when soccer was played by real men. When men were men, when people were tough, strong, not lazy, not soft like these days because of the comfort that we have. And when children are brought up in a tough way, not like these days the way people bring up their children like eggs. But that one I digress. So this soccer great I want to talk about is known as Mohamoud Abbas, aka Kenyan One. So Mohamoud Abbas, Kenyan One, Kenya finest goalkeeper. Mohamoud Abbas, Kenya finest goalkeeper. So in the 1980s, early 80s, this is a story was told by my uncle. He was a soccer fanatic. He's the one who introduced me to soccer, watching soccer in the stadium when I was very young. I think I was 9 years. The first time I went to our national stadium, Nyayo Stadium. That time we only had two stadiums, that's Nyayo and Kasarani. So Nyayo, I went to watch FC Leopards, Ingwe, playing by another team from Egypt, Al Hilal, who are the soccer giants of Africa. They were soccer giants for many years, but they still are. So there are so many soccer players, Omar Shaban, Ulibovos Mulamba, Kefa Tasso, Tomo Mboko, Kadenge, John Shotolukoi, so many of them, not forgetting John Busolo. But now this player I'm talking about was playing when I was very young. I didn't know anything in the world. I was just a baby. So my uncle told me that Mohamed Abbas, the finest goalkeeper in Kenya, or you can say Kenyan finest goalkeeper, started playing for Harambee Stars when he was 19 years. And FC Leopards, Ingwe, one of the local teams here, which is supported by many people, when he was very young. 19, he's already playing for the national team. These days, people are getting into the national team also here, plus in Kenya, even in Kenya and Africa, in their late 20s, because they don't trust such a place, such a position to a very young person. They think he's not mature enough. But Mahmoud Abbas grew up when a time, I'm telling you, when men were men, when life toughened men. By the time someone is a Gen Z in his 20s, like now, this is what the age, anyone below 30 is called a Gen Z now. Already someone is already mature. By 25 years, he has his first child or second child. Now I'm talking about the men of those 80s. So this guy, this man, Mohamed Abbas, helped Kenya. Harambee Stars is called, our national team, soccer team is called Harambee Stars. I've been there for many years. To win Sekafa Cup. Sekafa brings around teams from this region. Sekafa, we had Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. We had that time also Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi were in that group. Not forgetting Zambia, KK11, Malawi, that place like Young Timothy, Tanzania, our neighbors here, very strong teams. Even Uganda, the Cranes. So you see, so Mahmoud Abbas, later on I came and read about him. I also saw his interviews on television. He was a person who he described himself as a fearless goalkeeper. And he was well known about saving set pieces. You know those corners and fouls that some goalkeepers have a problem, like that one of Manchester United. I won't mention his name. This person would always punch the ball. He didn't care what was in his path, whether it was a defender, an opposing player, a striker. He would just come out punching both fists, and the ball will go away. So that is Mohamoud Abbas, Kenya's finest goalkeeper. And the reason I'm giving you this story is that when I was young, I wanted to become a goalkeeper because of those stories was told by my uncle. So I started, people who schooled with me, I know I was a good goalkeeper. But now I went for a trial for a local team that was recruiting young people. Not unlike these days where these major teams don't even have youth system. Those days, those teams used to have youth system, even from, it was a nationwide league. You know, they had nationwide, then you have Super League, and then National League. Those days they had like three leagues. So that team was playing in that third division before it goes to second and then the Premier League. I went to the place people were doing practice, others were juggling the ball, others were just jogging, so I was put in the post. So they want to test me. Those days I was not wearing specs. I've started wearing specs when I was in my late teens. So the first person hit the ball so hard. He was a stockily well-built striker. He was also a teenager, but very strong. That time I was around 15 years. You know, they were trying to create a youth team. He hit the ball so hard, I dived and I caught it. It was like fire. When I stood up, I had to throw away the ball. My hands were burning. You know, those days you were not catching using gloves. When you are a young player, they test you using your hands. So when I touched the ball, it was like fire. The second person hit the ball. It hit me on the head. Almost fainted. And the short of it is that was the end of my career as a goalkeeper. Although I played in other places and I went more in sports, it was more of athletics. I became long distance running and all that because of my small body and I enjoyed it. Going for several kilometers, meters. Like 800 meters was not anything hard for me. I'll run around the pitch and enjoy. These days you find a young kid this year under CBC. Okay, I don't like that system. It's called the password system. When they're given sports, after they play a bit, they get tired because they're obese. They're not very healthy. Obesity is really affecting our young children because they're eating very unhealthy food. Not like us when our pizzas, these days young people eat pizzas. So our pizzas was eating cassava, sweet potatoes, and groundnuts. Apart from the staple food, which was ugali, skuma, and meat. Meat maybe one or twice a week, and the other time is ugali and skuma called kales. So it made us strong and active in sports. So that's why I'm giving you this story about Mohamoud Abbas, Kenya finest goalkeeper. Was a very disciplined man. At 19, he was already uh, holding, being the custodian for the national team as the goalkeeper. FC Leopards, a big team. So this is a message for you young men, young Gen Zs. Use your skills. Use your skills to take you to the next level. As you can see now, they talk of a lot of unemployment and all that. But young men and women, they're using their skills to earn money. And you have an advantage. You have social media. You can have maybe even 1,000 followers. Let's start there on those social medias. Most likely YouTube, Instagram, and your favorite TikTok. You start doing good things. You know those bad things where people do X-rated things that even their grandparents cannot watch. Put content that even your grandmother and mother and father can watch and celebrate you. Grow those followers and start earning from them. When you're giving good content here, someone will send money. Me, I've sent money to people who have put good content here, and they're just doing it's called what, dancing, good dancing moves, motivational speaking. Another one does puppets using it's called what, puppets. He does puppets using this what containers. Here we call them mutungi containers, plastic containers that keep water. He makes nice comedy. I sent him something, and he has now over on TikTok. I think he has over 300,000 followers. So imagine if in a month, someone in a month, 10,000 of his followers they like his content. Let's start with 10,000. These people are more philanthropic. They send him $1. That's 100 bob. 10,000 followers. That's a million shillings per month. Even talk of half a million. In 12 months, this person will be having 6 million Kenya shillings. Even better still, let's say even you have 1,000 followers. Every month they're selling you 1,000 shillings, $10. That's a million per. Let's just start there. A million per month. Every month we're getting a million shillings because you have over 1,000 followers, very loyal. Every month someone says, you know what, this young man or woman is giving good content. Let me boost him with $10. That's 1,000 shillings from 1,000 followers. That's 1,000,000 shillings. Even you don't even have to have even hundreds of thousands of followers. You can just have even 50,000 followers, and 1,000 of them like your content, and they're sending you monthly 1,000 shillings. That's 1,000,000 shillings. Others can even send more. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Mohamoud Abbas, Kenya finest goalkeeper. I learned something from him: discipline, talent, and commitment to the cause. He was really committed to be a goalkeeper. Now he's retired after playing for many years, but people still remember him. Talk to any like calling us I don't know, millennium, or yeah, talk to any person who's a millennium, that is any age 40 and above. Let's talk of the real age. Any man or woman 40 and above, ask them about Mohamoud Abbas. They'll tell you their parents told them about Mohamoud Abbas. Anyone 40 and above, and anyone 60 and above, they actually saw him. You know, those days everyone liked watching soccer here in Kenya. They'll go to stadiums, watch soccer. They'll watch on our national broadcaster KBC, VOK back then, the television station. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Talent and skill pay. So you need to invest in your talent and skills these days of social media, because social media can disappear and bring something else that the generation Alpha are better at you, and you are a Gen X. So as what I want to tell you, young Gen Zs here, Generation Alpha can be something, can come up with Generation Alpha are better than Generation Z. Because we are millenniums, we are trying, yes. So lastly, I want to pray for you who is watching me, that you have a long life, your dreams become reality, of getting a good job, of buying your first land, your first car, of traveling outside this country, of getting a good partner, you start a family, of getting that child that you've been looking for, getting that scholarship, that grant, and that you become rich and prosperous, not only you, children, grandchildren, and all your generation. And I pray for myself to get $1 billion, yes, 100 billion Kenya shillings, to build the biggest technological university in Kenya and Africa, worldwide, to produce a product that can be used here in Kenya and worldwide, to earn money for the Kenyan government and also for myself, and to provide employment for these young Gen Zs, and also to train future entrepreneurs who can help Africa. That's my prayer. Amen. And if you have enjoyed this video, send something on the mobile M-Pesa that support this channel, +254 769 729 327. I repeat again, mobile M-Pesa, +254 769 729 327. And as I always say, Gwaheri ya kuonana, Gwaheri.